Welcome back to Time Hat. Sabo's actually here at the start. I'm Drunken Dan.
Hey guys, what would you say if um, did you call it like war profiteering if a company were to, I don't know, like use like the events of going on in a foreign country, I don't know, let's say Ukraine, and said international incident was causing a knock-on effect on various markets, and certain companies were to utilize those various effects to post record-breaking profits, like not even 100% profits, like 1,000% increase in profits. And then they were to turn around and say, no, it's not because we're war profiteering, it's just good business sense. What would you think about that?
Yeah, it's just good business sense.
It's just good business tactics. That's why literally
sense, they say it, so that must be true.
That's why literally every single energy company is posting record profits, because according to who's that big energy company in America? It's the one that's like Roxxon, but not actually Roxxon. Just, slightly more legally ethical.
Exxon? No, that's...
Exxon, that was
Oh, it was Exxon, okay.
Exxon. Yeah, so according to, like, the boss of Exxon, after a White House spokesman was like, man, why are you guys war profiteering, you cunts? And he's like, no, it's just that we had really good marketing strategies. It's like, oh yeah, sure. Every single energy company also had these really good marketing strategies ready to go. Wasn't just because you're war profiteering, you greedy, fucking evil cunts.
No.
Anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way.
They're the energy companies, and if they say they're not war profiteering, they're not.
Well, shit.
The stupid thing is, there's actually no...
And if you disagree with that, then somebody will be over to your place to make you commit suicide by, several shots to the back of the head.
You say that
from an angle that's clearly shot from far away, but no, it was suicide.
I don't think he's joking.
You say that. I was gonna say, you say that. There's literally a thing in the papers, in the press over here today, of a major gas and energy supplier over here having agents who work for them forcibly break into people's houses to change their meters if they don't pay. So
yeah, that's what they do.
Yep.
But,
anyway, energy companies are evil, and here's the real question: like, they can argue about the price of gas going up. Why has the price of electricity gone up?
Because
like,
because they create it with gas.
No, they don't. Not all of them. So much of it is also created through other sources. It's just the only reason why is because, for some insane reason, it was decided long ago that electricity was dictated by the gas price, and they've just historically always been influenced by each other. So they just decided, yeah, we'll just do that because, evil. Can't let the pharmaceutical companies almost look some of the worst. So let's just try and get in on that.
Mom says it's my turn to be a cunt.
Exactly. In any case, in good news, I've been playing the Dead Space remake.
Nice.
In fact, I'm playing it right now.
I actually heard it's really good.
It is.
Which I'm glad.
There's a few things in it that...
Good, sorry.
There's a few things in it that they changed, and I don't get why they've got some of these changes. Like, some of the changes are just arbitrary.
Like what?
Changing how a main character dies.
Huh. See, I don't know enough about Dead Space to really be able to comment on any of this. Because I wasn't really into that game.
I really like the first one. And then I like the second one even more.
Like I said, from what I've heard, it's been good, and I'm just... Well, since I'm not really a Dead Space guy, I'm just happy to hear that the people that play Dead Space are happy with it. Because I don't trust EA, so I was worried. Worried for them.
It's probably the best Resident Evil remake we'll get this year.
I see what you did there.
Well, maybe if every time I see more about Make, it just gets me a bit nervous. Like a friend of mine pointed out that the raid effects look garbage, like worse than they do on the PS2, which is always scary. But then there's no laser sight on the gun, at least not to start with, and it's like this literally one of the most iconic things about Resident Evil 4 is a laser sight on a gun.
Like that's really strange. I mean, my thing that's my prediction for it, I'm pretty sure I said this in recording. I kind of want to repeat myself just for clarity, I guess, I don't know, is, so my prediction was, I think what's going to happen is, so I said that one of my issues with the original 4 was that the gameplay was very clunky, and I didn't think it was a good horror game, but I felt like it was held up by the more campy or silly aspects of the game. You know, the parts that people really like about it, like, you know, like the president's daughter equipped with ballistics and that stupid shit. And I was like, I think what this game's gonna do is they're going to walk back the sillier aspects and try to make it more serious.
Oh, it's gonna be dour as fuck.
And the more I look at it, the more it's like, it looks like they improved, like, the responsiveness of the combat, but they're going the route of make everything dour and take itself seriously. Kind of like, actually, funny enough, the original, if you were to not localize it the way they did, that's how the original was actually presented. And, well, not really dour, but it took itself more seriously. So, I'm thinking that's what's probably going to happen, and looking more and more like, yeah, that's what's gonna fucking happen. And, yeah, I can't say... I don't know how to feel about it, since I don't really even like the original. But it's, not looking great, in my opinion, overall, because, yeah, it looks like it might be, the gameplay might be improved, but, like, it's just gonna be dour, not fun Resident Evil.
Also, I really didn't like Resident Evil 8. RE8 feels a lot like, yeah, we're just doing 4 again anyway, so...
And also,
also
kind of flailing about, not knowing what to do with a villain because they killed off their villain.
Well, I mean, RE8 just has, like, a whole slew of things. It's one of those things where it's not, like, technically a bad game, but there's so much of it that are just really annoying niggles. That just, they all add up over time.
Yeah.
So it's things like, it's super linear, but it pretends it's not. Like, there is only one path through all of the, there's only really one path through any single part of the game. There's no real reward for exploration beyond just, oh yeah, you can like get some of this treasure because we're just doing the RE4 mechanics, but not as good, and not in a game that's as long, and also in a game that has lots more unskippable cutscenes.
And also the part where it just pretends it's amnesia for a bit.
Yeah.
You
Part that I don't like.
Amnesia
most of the game I don't.
In this day and age, decades after Amnesia has been relevant.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm sure RE4 make will have a Slender the Arrival reference.
You're probably not wrong, to be honest.
Gotta gather those 8 pages and watch out for the spooky tall man. I mean, not being fine, if you put a regenerator in a nice suit, it will just pass for Slendy anyway, so... Man, remember when they made a Slender Man movie?
Unfortunately. Actually, yeah.
That didn't go very well, did it?
No. Well, it's one of those things where, much like our other favourite talking point, Ruby, it's one of those things where part of the reason why something is success is the novelty of it being homegrown.
Oh, actually, that reminds me. I did see a thing right before recording where they're urging people to please do not pirate Ruby.
Oh yeah.
Fuck you! I love piracy.
Yeah, they've been putting out a lot of statements, being like, please don't pirate Ruby, please give us money, we need money. And then one of their former staff basically came on and they were like, all right, so if you guys are begging for money this much, you clearly don't have the funds to produce another season. So I guess this is going to be the last one.
It sounds like it.
Hope you like all those questions being unanswered, I assume.
Yeah, probably. Just like Reboot.
At least Reboot got a movie to end on.
Yeah, eventually. Either that or it's going to be bought up by another studio who's just going to replace everybody. But we all saw how that went with Genlock, and it wasn't very well. It wasn't very well.
Yeah, but they've already replaced everyone everyone on Ruby like at least twice, haven't they?
No, that's the main. They still got the main VAs, and the 2 main writers are still there.
Well, I mean the VAs, but the VAs don't really count in the sense of like.
Although most of the VAs don't really work for Rooster Teeth anymore. Like
Yeah,
they did when the show started, but not anymore.
No, they just do contract work.
Basically, yeah.
I think like the main cast of Ruby still work for them. I think.
Just 2 of them.
I'm gonna guess Lindsay and I don't know.
Lindsay and Barbara still work for them, I think. But yeah, the other 2, they basically just, left.
Well, not left, but left.
Left the company for other work. And,
For probably better pay, honestly.
Just do Ruby.
I mean, it's honestly fair to them.
A lot of other VAs have been replaced, like Vic McNonga, because they couldn't wait to get rid of him once all that came out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can't exactly blame them.
Well, I mean, but they didn't even really wait for the story to break and like the court date to happen. They were just like, oh my god, Vic Mignogna's been accused of something. He's gone.
True, they did do it. They did do it before Funimation, to be fair.
Yeah, they immediately, and like everyone basically just started trashing about how much they always hated him. So, they couldn't wait to be rid of him for some reason.
I mean, to be frank, he might have been a cunt behind the scenes to them.
Maybe.
So they would.
we'll never know.
Yeah, honestly, we probably never will.
And there was the other 2 guys like Ryan Haywood, and we all know what happened to him. He's being unpersoned, and that includes Ruby. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't redubbed the old episodes to recast him.
That costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they did it for the video game.
It's money they don't have.
I mean, video game voice work is a lot less than doing episodes of a TV show.
Well, the thing is, with a video game, it's like replacing files, whereas if you
Yeah.
redub a show, you're having to effectively edit and redub the entire soundtrack, track of the show. Oh, alright. One of the sort of like changes to Dead Space remake that I do like is they did make it so not every chapter is just, alright, you finish a chapter, get on the tram, go to the next place. A lot of them still are, but there is more of a, you can walk from parts of the ship to other parts of the ship without having to use the cleverly disguised loading trams. And then they remake some of the bosses, and they're pretty fun, although the boss I'm technically about to fight now, the Hunter, they definitely did not change. Hunter's like what Nemesis should have been, except, we didn't get that in Rari's remake, because why would we get that? All they did was make an entire game, or make Resident Evil 2 basically imply, oh yeah, all the stuff we did for X, that was just testing for Nemesis. I'm not bitter.
Not even a little bit. You're the least bitter person I know.
Exactly.
I only know 2 people.
No.
So,
Be fair.
So you're saying he's less bitter than me?
Yes.
I mean,
You literally sit there and you say about how much you hate Rooster Teeth.
that is true.
I'm-
I was
hating
gonna be
Rooster
like,
Teeth is
yeah,
normal.
I am really bitter, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
Rooster Teeth is normal.
Now this is Sabo's "Are we the baddies?" moment. He's looked at his hat and he's noticed there's a skull on it.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Hopefully that skull means M. Bison, because the other one's worse.
Hopefully it means pirates. Pirates are fun.
True, pirates are fun.
Yeah, look at it's the Coke Hydra symbol on my hat. I'm like, I can live with that.
But like right now I'm kind of dicking around looking for stuff because I want to get because I need basically 35 to unlock one of the, I think it's the Seal the Deal DLC. So I'm just kind of dicking around trying to get as many timepieces as I can rather than doing the finale. But
Imagine if you looked on your cap and there was the Space Noid symbol there. Then what would you do?
shit,
Kill myself.
drop an asteroid on yourself.
Yeah, basically. crashing this asteroid with no survivors.
If I cannot live, nobody can! God, imagine being a space noid. Ugh. Gross.
Exactly. Thank God, man. You ever think in, like, 50 years, 100 years, 5 years, depending on who you ask, whether we actually do have, like, space colonies of some variety, and people look back on these old recordings and think, man, people of these days were just so fucking spacist. And you know what? They're right. You know what? Most people don't get to appreciate living in a time of being culturally ignorant and with the sensitivity of a dog.
See, I'm just saying.
We need to embrace we need to embrace these aspects of ourselves that future generations will look back on and cringe.
I'm just saying.
Don't you want to be the guy who makes that joke that, like, your grandson is like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I'm related to someone who said that."
I'm not going to have a grandson. It's fine.
You might. You never know.
If
You
it
might
happens,
trip and fall.
if it happens, it's under circumstances beyond my control that I was not
You
consenting
might
to.
You might trip and fall, Dan. It happens. Stranger things have happened.
Trip and fall into a vagina. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah,
What?
it just happens.
That's not. No.
Accidents happen all the time.
What the fuck? What?
I don't think that's how that works.
No.
I think it is.
What kind of sex ed did you have?
The kind from... I mean, bearing in mind, I've already explained that I had a mother who waterboarded me as a child, so does any of this really, like,
Hey,
seem
no.
wrong to you?
I mean, I guess not, when you put it that way. But, I will say, though, while we're being spacious, at least, Choo Choo from Witch of Mercury has the right idea.
Kill them all.
Fuck Spacians.
As I said, I have started watching Witch of Mercury. I've watched 2 episodes.
Okay, yeah,
But
so
I've
you
had
haven't met
other-
her yet. Okay.
I've had other stuff going on.
What about Martians?
Busy.
Do they need
Mars-
to be exterminated, or are they okay?
Wait, here's the question: Are they like the Manhunter Martians or the Butt Ugly Martians?
They're like the Nadesco Martians.
They are mostly whiny.
Sounds like we gotta kill him.
As opposed to the Nadesco Jovians,
Damn Jovians.
who are just like all we have is this one couple episodes of this classic robot anime series. Was based our entire culture on that.
I mean,
Honestly,
else you
that's fine.
what else you gonna do?
Yeah, come on. Honestly, that's the relatable part. That's the humanizing part. That's how you feel bad for them when they get killed, I guess.
Do they get killed, or do they just kind of go away? The only guy that gets killed is that that one guy who's the edgelord guy. I think he's the only guy that actually gets killed from their little organization, and the guy who looked and sounded just like Guy and got shot just like Guy. Maybe Guy was secretly a Jovian the whole time.
Maybe he was.
Maybe. I've heard of crazier.
We'll never know.
I've heard of crazier
we
ideas, so...
Yeah, we never will, because there will never be anything from the Disco follow-up ever again.
Nope.
You know,
This isn't a bit, ladies and gentlemen. That's just not happening.
It's dead.
it died 30 years ago.
Yeah, it could be worse. It could be going on in perpetuity. In perpetuity, is that the right way to phrase that? Or say that? I don't fucking know.
Forever.
Forever?
Endeavor.
Could be like Code Geass, where Code Geass never dies. Or Seed, where every few years someone's like, yeah, we're gonna make that Seed movie. This time for real, guys.
It's happening!
Yeah, we'll see.
I'd rather we didn't.
I remember, like, I think it was like a decade ago they announced it, and I did like a whole like, you know, like a joke video, quick thoughts, where it was just Bugs Bunny screaming in an airplane that was falling down, as my reaction to it, and we still ain't seen it.
Pretty sure it was more than a decade ago.
I'd have to look at when the video was when I made the video, and that takes effort.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. What do I look like? Someone who's gonna put effort into things? Jesus Christ, have you fucking watched these videos?
No.
Exactly!
You look. It's like that's like asking someone, okay, do you look in the toilet after you have a shit?
Do you?
No.
Oh, okay. Just had to check. God.
Not after I've had a shit. After someone else has, maybe. Just to compare, you know.
Did you compare sizes?
Yeah. We bet on we bet on them.
You bet on who has the biggest shit?
Yeah.
Or is it the
well,
most
you gotta
solid
do
turd?
Maybe it depends. You've heard of the Deadpool? Well, this is the turd pool.
Shitty pool.
No, that's Gwenpool.
That's true. Gwenpool is the most forced meme that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I've seen more forced. Not many, but
Not quite on her level though.
ugh. Oh yeah, speaking of classic series, Gal Gadot Final got its Blu-ray confirmed.
That was confirmed a while ago.
No, Originals was confirmed. Final got
Oh,
confirmation.
they're separate. Okay.
Yeah, Final is the sequel series.
They're probably not going to dub it though, which is too bad.
Well, they didn't finish dubbing their first show, so why would they dub Final?
Because Final is like the big flashy thing that everyone likes more than the actual show.
Yeah, but people will just watch it anyway. So, like, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, I'm going to just give this Gal Gadot show a try. It's like, no, if you're going to be watching it, you probably already know what you're in for.
There's a lot of people I keep trying to get into stuff, but they don't have the reading speed to follow subtitles, and I'm like, oh, why aren't they dubbing these things?
Why can't you just learn to fucking read? Why can't you just learn to speed read?
Some people just do not have the capability of doing that.
I had to learn. How else do you think I caught that with One Piece?
Got a point.
That is always the biggest thing for
Honestly,
me. Whenever...
at some point, some people, it's a miracle they can read it all, never mind speed read.
Some people I don't think can even read.
I've definitely met a lot of people like that.
I mean, there are some like really like illiterate when it comes to fictional works out there. It's just kind of ridiculous sometimes. Where like it'll be very basic and they'll be like, this is actually something very deep. No, he's just an asshole. Shut up.
I mean, even Sigmund Freud once said, sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Yeah. Like, a lot of Evangelion is literally just stuff that Anno thought was cool. There really wasn't that much of a meaning behind a good number of things other than, I'm depressed, hey, the name Evangelion sounds fucking cool.
Oh, look, we ran out of budget to finish our show.
What's also really funny is, what was it? So, Rei, one of my favorite little tidbits about Rei is that he forgot that she existed and had to be constantly reminded.
Yeah, he kept forgetting she was a character and to have her do stuff past, like, the first couple episodes. That's why she basically is non-existent.
And it's just so funny to me that that's what it was.
She just exists to give Shinji a weird boner. I'm attracted to this prepubescent girl who looks like my mother.
He doesn't know she looks like his mother, though.
He subconsciously knows.
You know, because Gen burned all the pictures of his mother, so they can only exist in his memory.
What a dick.
And Shinji gets nothing. Well, it's implied he just did it so nobody would realize Rei looked just like her. But you know, that's what he says. He's like, how come there's no pictures of Mom, Dad? Well, I burned them all so they can only be inside my memory.
What a dick. Who's a worse dad, Gendo Ikari or Gilead Osborne?
I don't know.
We'll never know.
Probably Gendo Ikari, but I hate Gilead Osborne more.
There. You been keeping up with Northern War, Sabo?
I watched like the first 2 episodes, and then I forgot it existed, so I guess I haven't watched the last couple.
There's only been 1 extra episode since then, because it came out on Sunday, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, no, yeah, I watched the second episode where he does his speech, and Rufus does his speech, and there's a shot of Reen just standing there in Valimar, and Reen is yet to have a single line of dialogue, which I guess tracks well with, you know, how he's usually treated in game.
On the 3rd episode, there are a few surprise cameos, but they're also non-vocal.
Yeah,
Elisa and Sarah show up. Not
Yeah,
Sarah, Sharon.
yeah, there's probably going to be a lot of that. I expect, like,
Yeah.
just, you know, voiceless cameos by whoever they felt like animating into the scene.
Yeah. Guess we'll see. At least it's something. It's better than what some other things we like get.
FA.
Better. It's better than better than Divine Wars in terms of niche JRPGs that you and I like.
I suppose, yeah. Poor Divine Wars.
Or
Yeah, Divine Wars is like, let's make the majority of the show the most boring part of the game.
well, maybe if they'd have actually fucking bothered to animate shit instead of having like CGI mecha stuff's terrible. Usually looks terrible anyway, but imagine that in like the fucking early 2000s.
Hey, Zoids actually looked pretty good.
That's true. Zoids did look pretty. Although Zoid was mostly, you know, animal movements. So that's probably why.
Like the
Well,
Zoids actually all look pretty good. Which I was actually surprised when I was rewatching it how good everything looked.
It's probably a lot easier to have a tiger thing gallop around like a humanoid mecha, make humanoid movements.
Mm.
I don't know. All they do in Divine Wars most of the time is just glide around over the ocean because they spend the majority of the game.
Not fighting.
No, it's like they pick the majority of Divine Wars is the most boring part of the worst route of OG1, where like you're just over a bunch of water stages when you don't have anything but like a couple generic grunts.
It takes up the entire fucking show to get SRX.
Yeah,
It's like, come on.
like it takes the entire show for them to start to get like, you know, the regular good stuff.
Say the line, Ryu say. Variable formation. Yay! Basically
did
what it
it!
should have been. But no, we have to spend all of the fucking show doing fuck all. Also, Ingram, on whatever his bullshit is,
Oh
can
yeah,
get spotlight.
Ingram,
yeah,
what's
they
Pat
only
Lamar
make
doing
it
there?
more confusing.
No, different Ingram.
Oh.
How do we describe the Ingram stuff? What if
Well,
like every kind of like JRPG rival / villain character rolled into one, and then also they imply that it's like transdimensional bullshit as well.
Yeah, and also it's specifically like another universe loop, but they remember what happened in the first universe loop, which was Super Robot Wars Alpha. So like they make sure to give him a different robot and do things and manipulate things so that he can't do things this time. And also the chess master is like one of the villains that doesn't actually show up in the game, so you'd be really confused unless you really know your Super Robot Wars history. It's very confusing.
One of those things of who is this for?
Yeah.
Like, because it's not just like a retelling of the game in order to get people who don't know to play the game / look into the series. So, Inspector's a lot better, even if it is a bit weirder.
Yeah, because it's traditionally animated, and they actually just, also just OG2 is just a lot more exciting in general than OG1.
Yeah, that's because it had Obari working on it pretty extensively.
Well, I mean, in terms of gameplay, you don't spend like a third of the game with like nothing cool, like right from the start, like hey, it's Kyosuke, and the all dies in, and
All he needs to do is penetrate.
the Grungust, and they're past the early OG1 part where everyone just has guest bests and nothing else.
They don't even. Problem is they don't even have the cool guest beds that can fucking kick in OG1.
No, it's the generic boring ones.
They don't even have that in fucking T. Just no kick.
Yeah, T is inexcusable though. It should have been able to kick.
I
Yeah,
agree.
no, that's the Type 2 Super. I don't think we've seen that one in a very long time. That wasn't even an OGS2, I don't think.
Poor Gespenst.
Get bent.
I mean, the real problem is that Van Presto could use the Gespenst without ever having to tiptoe around the fucking Gundams.
Yeah.
Unlike the Yuckbine, where it's just a Gundam.
It's just a Gundam in black.
It's like, the problem is there's plenty of black Gundams.
That's true.
It's like the Gundam Mark II. You can see why Sunrise got a little bit pissy about the Yuckbine looking that way.
I mean, they approved it to begin. They approved it back in the. They just didn't realize that they were going to.
Hank Gundam so much that Yuckbine model sales would outpace Gundam.
Yeah, they thought it would be a one-off, and Super Robot Wars 4 was going to be the last game. They weren't expecting it to become a ridiculously long franchise to rival their own, and that they just start making all kinds of Yuckbine variants. I think that they seem to have mostly calmed down on account of the two companies are now the same.
They're the same. They're owned by the same people.
They're owned by the same people, so yeah. So now they're a little okay with it,
They're like, yeah, fuck it at this point.
Like don't cut in on our model sales, and we don't care.
Well, Bandai Namco's like, what are we gonna do? Sue ourselves?
You own this, we own this.
The easiest solution to all of these problems: just buy everything. That's the Microsoft way.
That's the Disney way.
That's the Disney way, and we all saw.
Well, not anymore.
We all saw how that worked.
Christ,
I
we're
say
bleeding
this.
money now! Fuck!
I say this Avatar 2 made money, although I don't know if it actually made enough money. Is the funny thing.
It made money. It's not making enough money to save Disney.
It's not making enough money to justify itself. I don't think.
I know it made at least 1 billion. I know that.
You didn't have to make 2 billion to break
I know
even.
there was.
I
like,
don't
a
know if
recent
it made
staff-
more or not.
There was like a recent, I think, meeting where like they just started ripping on the guy who bought Fox. Like, why did you buy this? What did we need this for?
There was something he was looking for, and it wasn't the X-Men or anything like that. I don't remember what it was, but he ended up not even getting that. I think it was a
They were
sports
like-
thing.
They were like most of these franchises are useless to us. Like, we didn't need all that Marvel stuff. We already have our own. We have enough Marvel characters. We already had the license on Avatar for the theme parks, so we didn't need that. So it's like, what did you get from this? There was nothing.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure they'll make use of that X-Men IP they've got
Any day now.
Any day now.
Any day now.
Now we can finally get Magneto added to Marvel vs. Capcom. Right?
According to rumor, Disney might be so broke that they're at risk of being bought out
By who?
by Apple.
What would Apple want with Disney shit?
I don't know, but apparently, like, supposedly somebody was looking to try and save themselves by selling the company to Apple.
I understand why Apple would care. Like, Apple has its own little thing going on with technology. Why bother branching into theme parks and I just don't think Apple would have enough money to do all of that. Well, who knows? Maybe they'll just get like sold off to everyone.
I don't. Maybe they'll just start selling off stuff.
Who knows?
Like they'll do like Disney Japan and be like, hey, does some company want to take over running this for us in exchange for the license and a cut of the profits? Which is apparently a good idea because apparently they're the most successful theme park in the world, including the ones that are actually owned by Disney.
Because, not being funny, the main reason why Disney works as a company is brand recognition, and you don't actually need a company to have that. You just need slap Mickey Mouse on something, and everyone can be like, "Oh, look, it's Disney."
Yeah.
So you just pay people for the license, and hey, you get a lot more money than you would get from just having the license. As
And it also means they don't actually have to listen to Disney.
Yeah, they can have whatever weird, funky stuff they want, like their nightmarish Black Cauldron ride, which which just the concept of acknowledging Black Cauldron is horrifying enough for most American Disney people.
To be fair, I mean that was created when Black Cauldron was coming out, and they thought it was going to be a big hit.
Well, that's because that was just after Don Bluth was like, "Yeah, everyone, join me." And
I remember there were a lot of Disney attractions that was like, why is this based on that? That movie didn't do any good, and they were like, well, it was in development. It was in development as the movie was coming out, and we thought it was going to be a hit. We were mistaken.
Honestly, sometimes it just happens. Though, I mean, to be fair, Disney does have a bit of a history for betting on the wrong horse.
Hey, remember Disney's Dinosaur? And that was going to revolutionize CGI films.
Remember Pocahontas?
I try not to.
Well, I'm reminding you now for the bit.
It was okay.
Oh.
Yeah, but it didn't do well.
No.
Remember, that was the one that they were like, that one's going to get us all the bucks, and they didn't think Lion King was going to do shit. I don't remember what they were betting on against Frozen, whether you like that movie or not.
They weren't. They were like Frozen. Literally, they had been working on for 40 years.
But that was like one of their movies that they weren't like really. It was like their B team was working on it. I don't remember what movie they were expecting.
They thought it might do okay. They certainly weren't expecting it to become the most popular thing they'd made in like the last 20 years.
I think they were convinced it was going to be another Treasure Planet kind of deal, where Treasure Planet had been in development on and off since basically Little Mermaid.
Mm.
Well, I say in development, basically people were like, "Hey, what projects would you like to work on?" They've been like, "Well, we'd like to do this
I think it was called the Ice Queen
Treasure Island, but in space thing." And they're like, "Yeah, great."
I think it was originally called Ice Queen back in the day.
They also had an idea. There was also...
I think.
Probably.
Because I know, like, Elsa was originally going to be evil.
Well, yeah, because that's what she is in the story it's based off of.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was going to be evil, and then...
Because, like, Anna was, like, just like a peasant girl,
and... The song.
And then the song happened, and then they decided to switch it.
Elsa was entirely rewritten because Idina Menzel just sang the song in a different way than they were expecting. And they decided that to rewrite her entire character based on that song.
I mean, I'm fairly certain it's based on is it Hans Christian Andersen story? I don't know, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's reasonably certain it's based on a story, because, when there's a Disney original...
Oh, no, it is based off of it was like somebody in the Ice Queen, and Anna was originally like a peasant girl that goes to the Ice Queen.
Even Lilo and Stitch didn't do that. Like, it did okay. It did surprisingly well when it started, but then they tried to milk it, and it didn't work.
Well, yeah, because they had the cartoon series where they had like the Pokemon-esque number of Stitches.
Yeah, and like they were like, okay, like they tried to make Stitch this huge mascot character, and people got sick of him really quickly.
Well, they should have just had him continue to cuck famous Disney heroes like he did with Aladdin.
Oh yeah, like in the advertising.
Yeah.
What was it?
Which it's so weird that all the other ones it's like, okay, it's Stitch being a troublemaker, and then that one it's like, no, but Jasmine's into it though.
Which is which is so weird and also really fucking funny. The other one too was it Emperor's New Groove originally bombed because they didn't market it, and then later became super popular.
It was always critically liked. It was financially. Part of the problem with that though is less that it's much like Solo, in that it's not so much that the movie itself didn't do decent. It's the actual cost of making it was effectively doubled because Emperor's New Groove got completely reworked from what it was originally.
Oh yeah, I do know that it went through several reworks.
But I mean, like, not even just in reworks at early stages, like huge reworks, like all the way through production. So it wound up costing a lot more than it was ever could realistically make because, well, it was trying to make up the cost for about 2 movies. It's not like Atlantis, which just had fuckloads of money put into it and just was not a great movie.
Like, I enjoyed Atlantis, but it's definitely a flawed movie. Like, I do enjoy it, but yeah.
It's fine, but its pacing is really fucked. And also it's really bad at utilizing its characters. And also it's just a Stargate ripoff.
Yeah.
But apart from all of those, I like how they introduced the mechanic.
Remember the pilot for the TV series that didn't get picked up, so they fucking just released it and pretended it was a new movie?
Yeah. I like how they introduced a mechanic girl and she literally does nothing mechanical. The one time there's a mechanical fault, it's fixed by Milo.
That annoyed me so much. Like, you bring in this fucking mechanic girl and I'm like, yeah, she's cool, and then they don't let her do anything. Just nothing. What's the point?
Exactly.
Why put this in front of me and do nothing with it? Fuckers.
Just bait.
Fucking bait and switched ass motherfuckers.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that should have been the marketing, the strategy they went for if they wanted to make Lilo and Stitch like really a long-lasting thing. Just have Stitch go around cucking people.
I wouldn't be against it. Like I said, I thought that marketing was really funny. Even when I was a kid, I thought it was funny. Like,
if Sora can't do it, Stitch can't do it.
Stitch has already done it.
You know, but I mean, Sora has no charisma. Let's be real.
That's not fair. It's just that Sora's creator fucking hates his guts.
It's true. He hates everything.
No, he loves Organization 13.
He likes darkness.
He likes Organization 13 against our fucking wills.
Really fucking loves darkness, okay?
I really love the Organization members. They're funnier characters than we've ever had before. If we get them to work, everything works.
Also, he loves bros on, he loves it when bros go on road trips.
He does.
No girls allowed.
You think he's trying to tell us something? I'm not judging, obviously. I mean, I'm fucking asexual. I'm just saying.
I'm judging.
Like, you need to tell us something, man? Like, I mean, I want, like I said, like a safe spot with me, man. I can't say the same about Train.
Yeah. I'm gonna judge you.
I can't control what Train does.
Yeah. Not for being gay, that's fine. I'm gonna judge him for for not finishing a fucking game.
Oh, I mean, I'll judge him for that. Yeah, 100%. Listen, I've judged people for less.
I like when they made the ending to Final Fantasy 15 DLC, and then they didn't even finish the fucking DLC.
Oh, yeah. They're like, yeah, this is the DLC to finish it. There'll be new party members, new content, an actual ending. Nope.
Well, we did some of those things. You did none of those things. We did some of those things.
We did as much as we felt like.
Yeah, they did a couple of those things, and they released a novel saying what would have happened if they were allowed to actually finish.
I love when they do that.
And now that game is technically in the same category in my eyes as the fucking all like 4 of those live services they put out last year that are all dead.
Oh, speaking of dead,
Uh-oh.
yeah, they're finally killing the Avengers game.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well,
That's one of them.
Oh, that was already dead.
No, they released an update with Winter Soldier like a couple months ago, and then they were just like, yeah, we're done. We're not updating it anymore. We're not adding any more characters. Any bugs will no longer be patched. We're wrapping up. We give up.
I mean, nobody was playing that game, so... In fact, nobody was playing that game when it first came out.
Yeah, well, you know, it wasn't the greatest.
Like, when they first announced it, the only thing I was mainly interested in, to be honest, was just being able to beat people up as Kamala. And then but I was like, I'm not gonna pre-order it because I don't know much about it, and it looks like it might not be great. And then, lo and behold, it wasn't very great.
It was a lot better Kamala than
The one that we got, the live-action one.
I'll give it that.
I mean, yeah, that's not fair. That's not. I mean, yeah, that's fair because like, that's actually Kamala, versus like, okay, you're just literally Carol Danvers' powers. We're gonna take out whole swaths of your character, and you're just gonna be generic teen girl now, who happens to be of Arabic descent. Isn't that great?
Eh.
You washed half of me away. Yeah.
Thankfully, they stopped at half.
This is literally the part where you could touch on racism and only a couple of chuds would get mad. It's literally part of my backstory. We don't want to do that. Also, stretching powers is hard. We don't want to do that either.
That's because it's not cool. That's because...
But that's part of my character, because that's part of me, you know, learning to accept myself, and it's kind of a whole, like, symbolic thing.
To be fair, we are past the point where, it's fashionable to be, it's fashionable to say, man, Muslims are so cool, though. I always remember, so you know the actor who plays Bashir in DS9, Sabo?
Sabo?
No, that was a no. I guess not.
No, yes.
Oh, it kind of
So he once did an interview that where he said about sort of like post 9/11, and there was just this wave of like people of like getting people of like Indian and Arabic descent to be to hire them for roles, and it wasn't because of like, oh, we need to make terrorists. Well, it wasn't just because of that. There was a lot of that. There was just also a lot of people. There was a lot of people who were desperate to like get people Arabic or people of Arabian descent into roles, just to say, hey, look, guys, we're inclusive. And it's like, yeah, now we're like so far removed from that point of view. Nobody cares about the Arabs as
I mean, I get
anymore.
that, but it is part of her backstory and her character. Yeah. So I get what you're saying, but like when you're doing Kamala, like if you're actually doing Kamala, you can't really avoid it because it is part of her original creation.
And you know, I'm kind of impressed with all this speaking of like racism and all these sort of hot charged topics. We managed to go without mentioning that guy who got killed for seemingly no reason.
Wait, what happened?
That guy who was killed by those 5 police officers.
Oh God, yeah.
For like literally no reason, I guess. You can't even say, oh, it was racially motivated because everyone involved in the case is black.
Yeah, that's what people like. It's.
Also, too,
like,
the issue
people
kind
of got me like, oh, them damn racist cops, and they're like, I don't think that's the case.
Even the issue with the cops in police brutality was quickly thrown away because they got actually, charged with the crime. Yeah,
of course they did. They're black.
Yeah. There you go. I was waiting for that. I didn't want to be the one who says it.
We're all thinking it.
Oh yeah. If that was a bunch of white cops, they would have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh no, black cops breaking the rules.
Hey, that's only for the white cops.
Weren't they also drugged up, or is that just hearsay?
I don't know. This is my first time hearing that. It's possible. I'm not gonna dispute it because A, I don't know, and B, I can't say I don't believe it.
B, fuck the police. Am I right?
Yeah, honestly. There are only 2 good cops, Jay Decker and Noah.
Wait, which Noah?
The Pat LaBar.
Oh.
She's a cop.
I get it.
Do you?
I thought you meant like Noah as in the Ark.
I don't think he's a cop.
He might be.
Probably a-
I mean, I guess
He's a
he
narc.
kind of would have to be.
He's a narc.
He's not. You know, he didn't tell anyone that God was planning to drown the fucking world. He knew that snitches get stitches.
No, Noah, if you tell anybody, remember, snitches get stitches. What do you mean by that? I'll beat your fucking face in.
Thanks, God.
You're welcome. Piece
Man.
of shit.
I was in the city centre at the weekend, and like I had my headphones in, I had my hood up, I had my back to them, and this fucking dude still walked up to me and was like handing me this leaflet about Jesus. It's like, do I look like I want to talk to you about Jesus?
I think you might.
What has Jesus ever done for me?
He died for your sins.
Well, why the fuck am I still sinning then?
That's because you don't have Jesus in your life.
How can I? He's dead!
But he died for your sins.
I mean, motherfucker can't even remember his own birthday.
Don't you want your soul saved?
Nah.
I feel like that bit though. The motherfucker can't remember his own birthday. That's good.
That's because I think technically it should actually have happened. It should be in September.
Yeah,
But
so it was
because-
because of conversion. They
No, it's even dumber than that.
because they wanted to. Oh no, because they wanted to convert people easier.
Oh yeah. It's basically because they went to the Roman Emperor and were like, all right, so I know it's our religious thing, but we want you to believe this, and in order to accommodate that, we will move all of our religious holidays to match up with yours, so you don't have to actually remember anything new.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that they did for their holidays to also like overlap them over like pagan ones, and usually remove the sex parts out of it, because that was also part of the thing, was to make sex be that's a bad thing. Sex is bad. You can't do that.
Unless it's with choir boys, of course, then it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine if it's choir boys. Choir boys are fine.
As long as they're vulnerable people who can't really consent one way or the other, then then sex is okay.
It's all right.
That's what the Catholic Church has taught me over these years.
It's an important lesson.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm doing like one last like time rift thing, and then we'll stop for today.
Oh, and I'm just waiting for this.
I swear I'm not trying to do
Hunter to
100%. I just want to be able to do all the DLC stuff.
I'm just waiting for this boss to spawn so I can chop his legs off and put him in the freezer.
Oh yeah. Also,
Seems a bit harsh.
He's a regenerating asshole.
Sabo, don't worry. The new Fire Emblem game keeps the tradition of there's always that one unit that just kills everything.
Of course.
Because, I mean, you can't have a Fire Emblem game without that one unit that's just way better than everybody else. Because they gave them one ability that makes them ridiculous.
Yeah, well. These things happen.
It's Yunaka who gets the ability where if you put her on a tile that increases her chance of avoiding things, her crit rate skyrockets. So you just put her on one of those and let her crit people to death. It's fucking great. You just build her to have high avoidance, just stab people. And the best part is because dagger units in that game are both ranged and melee, she can just kill you from wherever. You're gonna try and throw a spell at her. That's adorable. She's gonna stab you. No matter what you do, you are not safe. Heavy armored units, that's fine. I'll just chip away at you with the fact that this does poison damage, because daggers are bullshit.
So is this a controversial character? Or like...
No, actually she's very popular with the fan base. It's not like Leone. It's not like Leone where she's like one of the best units in the game, but like the fan base hates her because she called them a bitch.
Yes, because she was mean to them one time.
What's funny too, if you like when you watch that cutscene, like all your dialogue choices are basically act like a shithead, and then people are surprised that she treats you like a shithead. It's like, well, what did you expect?
Not be called a bitch.
Well, she doesn't call you a bitch. She essentially implies calling you a brat, but I like calling them bitches.
Bitches get snitches. Wait.
Wait, hold on. I think you might have messed that up a little bit, but I'm not sure. Jury's still
I
out.
don't believe I did.
Yeah, but you don't believe much. You don't even believe in Jesus.
I believe whatever doesn't kill you makes you stranger. Alright, now where's my posthumous Oscar, everyone?
What the fuck was that even from? Do I want to know?
Dark Knight.
Oh,
That's like Joker's first line.
I haven't seen that movie in so
Yeah.
long, and I don't even like that movie, so... So in my defense, I completely fucking forgot.
Oh well, you know what you get. You get what you fucking deserve, and then I shoot you.
Oh.
All right, now where's my awards? I was doing the Joker as portrayed by Joaquin Phoenix in the hit movie Joker, starring everyone's favorite psychotic clown, Joker,
Yeah.
Mm.
and everyone's favorite Phantom Thief.
They'll never see
Because-
it coming.
Alright,
Well,
alright,
they
alright. Enough with the Phantom Thieves already. When's Persona 6?
I just want to see how they. I mean, I'm not even sure we want Persona 6 at this point because if the trend set by Teddy is anything to go by, we're just gonna absolutely hate the mascot character. Like we're all like, man, Teddy's annoying.
Teddy's annoying,
Yeah,
but
surely nothing could be more.
Teddy's a little annoying.
Surely
but
nothing
that's
could be
worse.
worse than Teddy.
Teddy's annoying, but at least he doesn't make us go to bed all the time.
Also,
That's the
also
point.
to be fair, Teddy gets yelled at when he acts like a shithead. Where
Morgana does.
when Morgana acts like a shit, everyone
Morgana-
just takes it. And then the one time Ryuji raises his hand, they're all like, "Oh my god, Ryuji, you piece of shit, cunt lord! You fucking asshole! I hope you die!" What do you mean you didn't die, Ryuji?
Morgana.
You nearly died trying to save us, and you lived? You bitch!
Why do I have to waste my time on this stupid fucking simping cat?
I'm just happy that the girls leave their abuse to only Ryuji as opposed to like the other two games where like they just shit on the guys all the time. At least they generally seem to like Joker and Yusuke well enough.
How can anyone shit on Akihiko? He's the best.
I mean that didn't stop him from being executed.
It's true.
Because he only
Or
talks
Aki.
about protein
He loves his fucking protein, man.
and training.
Protein.
He loves protein. What can I
Have
say?
you seen the protein?
But he also knows how to dodge bullets.
Sure he does.
Steak, protein. My dad sucks, so I'm gonna kill everyone. Friendship is super late.
As soon as you said the steak one, my eye twitched because I love Chie and I hate it when they just flanderize her to just steak.
That's steak. That's her entire reason for living outside of the original game.
She loves her for steak. What are you talking about?
I hate it here.
Wow.
Anyway, oh my god. Hat Kid, why were you just like going on a weird angle, just staring at me for a second there? That's not Hat in time for today. Before Hat Kid kills me.
Game is cursed.
It is cursed.
It's a brand new creepypasta.
And then Hat Kid looked at the
Dan.
screen, and then blood came out of her eyes. Realistic blood. Oh.
Time to leave.